feel like I need to do my own countdown. 3, 2, 1. Good morning. It's Wellness Wednesday. I hope you are well. I'm wearing my new glasses that I collected yesterday, calling them my middle-aged lady glasses because I am a middle-aged lady. A little bit of bling on the side, but not too much, because the young gentleman at the shop made me laugh when I said, "Are these too old lady-ish?" And he said yes, so I put those ones back and I chose these ones. It's the first time I've worn them, so I'm looking forward to. They're slightly stronger than my last ones, so hopefully I'll be able to see. But I don't feel like a middle-aged lady today because I'm bouncing around like a super excited kid. I've got a lot to do today, but I'm not worried because I know that on days when I always have a lot to do, I generally get it all done. So rather than stress about having lots of things to do, I am just thinking about all the exciting possibilities. It's funny because when you know you have a lot of things to do and then you give yourself something else to do, or you have an idea, or you say yes to something, you've always just added more load onto yourself. So you do have to be careful about what you say yes to when your plate is already full. But sometimes when you have an inspired idea, you can't help but act on it. Oh no, I need to show you my inspired idea. Bear with me while I just grab it from the printer. Yesterday I had an inspired idea. Oops, sorry for showing you my face. I had an inspired idea to I've set up a fundraising page and I wanted to get it printed on the back of my t-shirt. So I created this little graphic, and I thought, right, how can I get that on the back of my t-shirt so that anyone that sees me can scan the QR code and go straight to my donation page. So I phoned a friend and I said, hey, I've had this amazing idea. This was like 2 o'clock yesterday afternoon. And I've only just had this amazing idea and I need this done tomorrow. Can you help me? So then I picked the kids up from school. I rushed home. I said, Mummy's going to be really busy on her computer for the next half an hour. And they're like, okay. So I made that graphic and I sent it to a lady called Printed Possessions here in Townsville. I raced out there with 3 t-shirts, running vests, and she's putting this design on the back of my running vest today. And the printer, Hastings All Clear Printing in Townsville, they're printing and laminating this so I can stick it on my, making stickers of this so I can stick it on my belongings and on my jacket and on various other things. So I'll be a walking donation signage board for the next few days. So because tomorrow, that's why I'm excited. I've packed up, there's mess everywhere. Tomorrow I'm going to Mackay for the Marina Running Festival. And it's all part of a huge event that is going on, supported by the Indigenous Marathon Foundation. And as you might know, I've been running with a lot of people from the Townsville branch of the Indigenous Marathon Foundation this year. And they actually invited me to represent Townsville as a community leader at this event in Mackay. So I'm going with a group of other people. I'm chaperoning 4 young people who are also participating, and we've got a relay on Saturday and then on Sunday various distances, so 5Ks, 8Ks and half marathons, and I'm doing my first official half marathon. So it's really cool to go with a group of people. I haven't been on an organized sporting event that I haven't had to organize myself for probably almost 20 years, so I'm a little bit like a kid in a candy store. I just have to pack my bags and go. Accommodation, flights, transport, meals is all arranged for us, and we just have to get on the plane and go. And I haven't been on a plane for 2.5 years, since I flew to Melbourne to launch my book in February 2020. So the flight is only going to be half an hour. But the idea of getting on a plane and going somewhere is really exciting, on my own without children. So I am going to joke to the people that I'm chaperoning that I won't be applying their sunscreen or doing any of that other mumsy stuff, but I will be saying, come on guys, let's go, let's go. So yes, there will be some limits to my chaperoning, but I am super excited. So I've posted in the notes of this live my link to donate. So what I'm planning to do is 3 runs in 3 races. 3 races in 8 weeks, starting with Mackay Marina Half Marathon, then the Gold Coast Full Marathon, then the Townsville Half Marathon. and that's 84.4 kilometers if you need a quick calculation, and I am running for Ukraine, and money raised will be donated to help those that have lost their limbs in the war, and also my pet charity, which is called ICP Support. So ICP Support stands for Intrahepatic Cholestasis of Pregnancy. I suffered it in both my pregnancies. It's a dangerous illness. A lot of research is still being done into it and how to support women who have the illness, and then subsequently health issues that come out of it, such as liver disease and so on and so forth. So I'm very grateful that I had the support of that charity during my first pregnancy when I suffered with ICP very, very severely. They wanted to admit me to hospital at around 26 weeks. And I said no. I went to hospital every day for about 4 hours for monitoring, and I stayed at my house, which was not far, waddling distance to the hospital. And in my second pregnancy, I managed to keep myself well through my own knowledge and awareness of my body, and also being very advocating for myself and being very strict on what did and didn't happen throughout my pregnancy. And then I managed to have the illness only mildly for a much shorter space of time towards the end of my pregnancy. But literally, as soon as I felt the chemistry in my body change, I presented to the hospital. They could see that my body chemistry in 24 hours or 36 hours had declined rapidly, and so the following day they delivered my baby. So it's really about body awareness, which is on and advocating for yourself. So this is another example. This morning I'd set my alarm to go for an easy run, 7 kilometers. My alarm went off at 5:38 this morning, but I had not slept well, and I had a bit of a twinge in my back, and I thought, okay, I'm going to not go running this morning. I'm going to be kind to myself. I'm going to rub it with my favorite magnesium cream with essential oils, including lavender, ylang ylang, geranium, frankincense, rosewood, and I'm going to do some yoga today. I'm going to have a warm bath, and I'm going to relax my back, and I'm not going to put my body under any undue stress today. So it's about listening to your body and knowing your body, which is essentially how I feel fairly excited about running a half marathon this weekend. I know that I've done the distance 4 times already. I'm fit enough to do it. It's just mentally preparing yourself and also being kind to your body. So little precautions before, during and after. So I've had my race preparation week where I'm being mindful of what I eat. When I rest, I'm also being very protective of my toes, because after I did my 35k run a few weeks ago, my toes suffered the most. I recovered very well physically, but my toes were very sore. And this week, it's funny because, like, don't stand on my toes! You know, people drop metal water bottles on your toes, or they stand on your toes. The other day, my chickens were screaming, so I raced out the back door to get them to shut up. And I cut my ankle, my heel, on the metal door. So that was a disaster on Friday. My heel was bleeding. I'm thinking, this is no good. So on Saturday morning, when I went for a run, I was running 16 kilometers. The first kilometer hurt, and I put a band-aid over it, thinking, come on, Krissy, you have to do this, you have to do this. Covered it up with a band-aid. At the first K it hurt, and then maybe at 10k it hurt again, but the rest of the time it was fine. So sometimes it's a little bit of mind over matter, but you become very conscious and very precious about your body when you know you need it to perform, or you don't want to get sick, or you want to look after it, or you want to deliver a healthy baby, or so on and so forth. So it's just really tapping into your intuition, and your body tells you what you kind of need to do if you're prepared to listen to it. So I'm definitely using my intuition and my good connection to my body to listen to what it needs at the moment. So that's good advice for planning to run a marathon, which was never my goal or aspiration prior to this year, when I set the intention in January to run a marathon. I just started going along to, well, I had been going on different runs. So Saturday morning I usually always do the park run. Sunday afternoon I go to the run with the Indigenous Marathon Foundation here in Townsville. And then they also have a run on Tuesday and Thursday morning at 5 a.m. So I just consistently started going to more runs where there was more people to give me the motivation and the impetus to run longer distances more consistently on my own. And my neighbor who lives down the road, she's run a few marathons, so I started running with her. So to think later, maybe in February, I think I ran like my longest run, which was 14 kilometers, and now I know that I'm capable of running 42 kilometers. It shows you what your body's capable of doing in a short space of time if you look after it. So I am excited about this weekend. I get to meet a childhood hero, which is Robert de Castella, who is one of our most famous marathon runners, and he was even a world record holder at some stage. So he's going to be fairly inspiring to meet too. So I am super pumped about this weekend, and it just kind of reminded me that about generosity, because when we're generous to others, other people come and be generous to us. So obviously I consider myself a fairly generous person. I've been generous with my time and with my own money, as well as with encouraging other people to share their money to help the war this year. But also, sometimes we're generous with the wrong people, or we're generous with a person and we don't get any thanks or any recognition or any appreciation, really. But then we might be wasting time being generous to the wrong kinds of people. But when you are generous with the right kind of people, and as a result amazing things fall into place where other people start being generous to you, you know that the universe is working in harmony, because you're not now wasting your time, your effort, and your resources being generous to those that will never appreciate it or take it for granted or have no intention of ever being generous themselves. So if you're generous, that generosity flows through and then comes back to you in many shapes and forms and different ways. And so I'm really living kind of proof of that at the moment, where I've been as generous as I can, and now loads of other people have come forward and have been generous to me in so many different ways. So I'm super, super grateful for that. So don't be I try to think of it as not to be tight-fisted or closed-hearted when it comes to the needs of others, because in demonstrating generosity, when you give with one hand, you're able to receive with the other. So it doesn't necessarily mean that who you give to can give back to you, but it means through giving you can often be rewarded for your efforts in other ways at other times by other people. And it's exactly 10 years this month since I managed an event in Ukraine, Poland and Ukraine, and we had 8,000 people in 6 weeks across 6 countries going to soccer events, and I had worked with a team of more than 400 people, and we delivered this project, and I was the project lead. And those Ukrainian people that I worked with were generous and kind and giving and hardworking, and 10 years later now I have an opportunity to repay that. So it's cool. So I said I wouldn't get emotional today because I'm super excited, but have a great weekend. It's Wednesday, but I feel like the weekend is nigh, because I'm going to switch off my computer to this evening after I've finished off some tasks I need to do for my work, and I'm going to hop on a plane and go and enjoy my very first half marathon. So you can follow along on the live tracker. There will be lots of funny photos, I'm sure, to be shared over the coming days. And I'm super grateful to Indigenous Marathon Foundation for inviting me. I'm super grateful to Gold Coast Marathon, who are sharing my fundraising efforts. I'm grateful to Hastings and Printed Possessions, both Townsville organisations, and I'm grateful to everyone that has already donated to my fundraising page. You know who you are. Thank you so much. Those donations are already in my mind, thinking how I can move that money on very quickly. So thank you so, so much, and I'll see you again soon. Take care, be generous, and be good to your body.